Hi, it's Kari Mathews of Prairie Quilting. Today we're working on my quilt, Hugs and Kisses, just in time for Valentine's Day. The pattern is available through my website, prairiequilting.com, and the fabric I use for this is mostly Among the Wildflowers by Shelley Cavanna for Benertex. All right, today we're going to be working on, we're going to call this our O block, okay? And we're going to be doing curved piecing for this. Let's get started. All right, I'm going to show you how I cut my pieces, my templates, okay? And you can see how I've already cut out. Here's like the width of the fabric, it's folded over, okay? And so I cut like this, okay? And here's the side, okay? The selvage is here. So I cut them so that this part is on a bias, okay? And then I cut another one. You can get 4 because this is folded over. So you get 2 and you just kind of nest them and then just keep moving out like this. Okay, to cut this large template out, I just kind of square it up. This is, you know, the side of the fabric here. There's the fold. Pretend as if it was a square and then cut it out that way. Okay, and to cut this template out here, I have strips and the sizes are all in the pattern. And I go ahead and I line up this straight edge here with the straight edge of the fabric. And then I just trace around and then I just nest. I nest my templates and I go down all the way. We're gonna first off go ahead and connect these 2 pieces. This is template C and template B. Okay, so with curved piecing, I fold it in half and I pinch that center, okay? And then I fold the other one and I'm pinching the end that's going to be right next to it, so right this side right here, okay? These 2 pieces are going together. Okay, so I'm going to match up the pinches. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in that. And I pin in the center and on the ends, okay? And I'm matching it up so that my engineered corners match up nicely in that corner of the curved piece here. Okay, and then we get the other side. All right, we're pinching that center and the side that will connect up with it. And the ends. This is a nice block because the curves are so big that they're very easy to work with. So this is a great block to start curved piecing with. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a few stitches to just secure my needle in there, and then I'm leaving my needle down. And I'm just gonna be using my stiletto to keep the edges of the fabric together. And I'm just easing that fabric in. Okay, so we'll just go around all 4 of these. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and press toward that outer curve, okay? A lot of times I'll just do what my fabric is kind of wanting to do. This is a fun Valentine quilt because it looks like X's and O's. Hugs and kisses. Okay, so next we're going to connect opposite sides. It doesn't matter which one, but we're going to go ahead. When I curve piece, I like to keep the kind of pie shaped piece on the bottom, and then the one that has the cave, that goes on the top. That's what I prefer. So I'm going to go ahead and find the center of this piece as well. Okay, so I'm pinching that, and now we're going to pinch the outer part here. Okay, and we're doing the same thing. We're just matching those up, and then we'll match the ends up. Okay, and the ends. Now these skinny ends here, you know, just make sure they're in the corner there, okay? You get a better curve if you just keep those nice and flat. Okay, so that, these two sides here line up nice and flat. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and take a couple stitches again. Let's put my needle down. Here we go. And I've got my stiletto handy. And these curves they're getting larger, so it's just easier to stitch them. Okay, so we're done with that side. Now we're going to connect the opposite side, okay? And let's go ahead and just find the center again. Okay, and then I'm matching up those corners. We're doing the same thing, just taking a couple stitches. If there is a slight pucker, it's okay. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and press out again, okay? And with these little tiny skinny edges, just be careful that your fingers don't get burned. Okay, and for this part, you just really don't wanna stretch that fabric out of whack. Okay, so we have the two opposite sides. Now we'll do the other two, okay? So we're doing the same thing. We're gonna find the center and match it up with the center here. Now as this piece gets larger, it's actually getting easier to work with. Okay, and here's our last side. So once again, same thing, pinch that, okay. Okay, let's go sew. All right, and pressing again, we're going toward the outside. And the last thing we are doing is connecting our corners, okay? So I'm gonna just go ahead and we're gonna match these up. And I'm leaving my dog ears out, hanging out the same amount on both sides, okay? Okay, and do you see where those two meet in a V? That's where your needle will sit. Okay, that's where you're gonna go in and come out down here. All right, and I'm just gonna go ahead and press those corners out like this. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and clip those little dog ears off. And there is our curved block. All right, our block is finished. I hope you had fun, and I hope to see you soon for another project. Take care.